Hi, my name is Kiri and welcome to today's session. Today I wanted to do a practice that is going to help strengthen the lower back. So we're going to do a lot of core exercises and things like that to help stabilize our center. All you're going to need for your practice today is your mat. So roll that out and we'll begin whenever you're ready. So today's practice, we will actually begin on our feet. So meet me at the front of your mat in standing. So we're going to bring the toes together with a small gap in the heels for a traditional stance, or we can have the feet a little bit wider hip distance if you need that support in your stability. And rather than having your lower back feeling that big arch with the pelvis tucked, think about finding a neutral pelvis where the pelvic bone is just pointing downwards. We're not tucking it forward. We're not tilting it back. Just a nice long spine as we feel the lower abs pull up and engage. We're going to bring our hands to our sides, palms facing forward so that our shoulders naturally open. And then take a nice big breath in here, followed by a big exhale as you let it go. Again, another big breath in, followed by a big breath out. Again, on your next inhale, reach the arms all the way up towards the sky, lengthening the spine. So really actively reach through the arms. Find length through the torso as you reach. And then as you exhale, release the hands out and then down by your sides. Good. Another big inhale, sweep the arms up. And then again, big exhale as you release and let it go. One more time, inhale, big reach of the arms. Find length through your ribs, through your shoulders. And then again, exhale, release. Good. We're going to take that all the arms all the way back up one more time. This time we're going to grab opposite elbows once you get to the top. And then exhale, side bend over towards your right. Inhale all the way back to center. Side bend, exhale to the left. Good. Inhale again as you reach the arms back up. Exhale, release the hands down by your sides. Good. I'll do this one facing forward, but it's going to be the same thing. We're going to do that 2 more times. Inhale, reach the arms up. Cross the elbows, maybe opposite from what you did before. And then as you exhale, side bend to the right. Inhale again, rise to center. And we do it on the exhale because you want to pull the navel in. Engage the core as you bend left. Inhale again, rise all the way back to center. Release the arms. And then exhale, release the hands all the way down by your sides. Good. We'll do that one more time. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Grab opposite elbows. And then exhale, side bend over towards the right. And then inhale again, back up to the top. And then exhale, side bend to the left. Good. Inhale again, rise all the way back up to the top. Reach the arms high. Really lengthening. And then exhale out to the sides. Good. Maybe take your neck over towards the right. And then over towards the left. And one more time. Right ear, right shoulder. Left ear, left shoulder. Good. I'm going to face back towards the front. And then we're going to do a half Surya Namaskara, but we're going to do it a little bit differently. That is going to help us activate that core and stabilize from there. So I want you to think, inhale, reach the arms up towards the sky, and we're going to cross the elbows just like we did in our laterals. And then as you exhale, forward fold, taking the arms all the way with you and bending the knees quite a lot once you get to the bottom. Inhale as you straighten the legs. You're going to lift the torso up. Taking the weight of the arms with you, lengthening the spine forward, finding that nice flat back. And then exhale again, bend the knees a lot, letting your arms come down. And then you can take the arms and sweep it all the way up to the top as you come up to stand. And then exhale, release the hands down by your sides. So it's a half Surya Namaskara A with a arm cross and really lengthening through that halfway lift to help us engage our center. So on your next inhale, reach the arms again up towards the top, crossing the elbows once you get there. Big exhale, forward fold. You can do this part with bent knees. Good. Inhale again, lengthen the torso, reaching the elbows forward, straightening out the legs. And then exhaling again as you bend the knees, forward fold. Release the elbows, sweep the arms up as you come up. You can do this with bent knees, reach the arms up high. And then exhale, hands down by your sides, Samastiti. Good, that was number 2. Let's do it number 3. Inhale again, reach the arms up. Cross elbows. Exhale, bent knees, forward fold. Inhale, flat back, halfway lift, point the elbows forward, lengthen the spine, lengthen your legs. And then exhale again, big forward fold, bend the knees. Inhale, release the arms, come up high, reaching up towards the sky. And then exhale, hands down by your side, Samastiti. Beautiful. Let's do one more for good measure. Inhale again, sweep the arms up high. Cross opposite elbows. Exhale, big forward fold, bent knees. Good. Inhale again, flat back, halfway lift, point the elbows up, lift the torso, lengthen the spine, straighten the legs. And then exhale again, bend the knees, forward fold. Inhale, reach the arms all the way up. You can do this with bent knees, switch, big switch. And then exhale, release the hands down by your sides. Beautiful. Good. We're going to this time do a traditional Surya Namaskara. Inhale, reach the arms all the way up towards the sky. Big exhale as you forward fold, releasing the arms down. Having your hands at your shins as you lift up, halfway lift. And then as you exhale, plant your hands and step your hips all the way up and back into your downward facing dog. Good. Inhale, roll yourself to plank. And then exhale as you roll yourself back to downward dog. One more time. Inhale, roll to plank. And then exhale again as you roll back to downward dog. Good. Gently lower down onto your knees. Good. So that you're in your tabletop position. And then you're going to find a nice big inhale as you drop the belly, lift your gaze. And then exhale, round the spine. Good. We'll do that one more time. Chakravarkasana. Inhale, cow pose. And then exhale, cat pose. Good. We're going to come into a modified Vashisthasana. So what you're going to do is come into a nice flat back. Take your left foot and then you're going to rotate it over towards the left side of the mat. You're going to take your right leg and extend it all the way to the back as the inside of the foot reaches onto your mat floor. And then you're going to rotate yourself onto your left wrist, left knee, right foot, all in one line. Reach that right arm up nice and high. Good. And then really push down into that left knee, lifting that right hip up towards the sky. Feeling nice and light in that left arm due to the right arm reaching high. Really good. One more breath here. Yeah, gently lower that hand back down towards the floor. Good. You can bend that right knee as you rotate that left knee back in. And then do the same thing. Right foot rotates towards the right. And then the left foot extends all the way back to the inside of that foot. Right hand is in line with the other legs as you reach that left arm high. Good. Lengthening through that left leg. Pushing down into that right knee. Rotating that hip open. Reaching the arm high. Good. 2 more. Beautiful. Last one. Yeah, gently rotate that left hand back down towards the floor. Yeah, bend that left knee as you bring it back. Good. One more time, cat-cow. And then come into a nice neutral spine. Good. From there, you're going to take your right foot back behind you. And then your left arm out in front of you. And then on your next inhale, you're going to take both arm and leg and extend it up towards the sky. Inhale, lift. And then as you exhale, knee to elbow as you round. Good. Inhale again, extend. And then exhale again, knee to elbow underneath. Good. One more time. Inhale, extend. And then exhale again, knee to elbow. Good. Inhale, extend everything out. And then exhale, drop that knee and arm back down at the same time. Good. Same thing on the left. Left leg extends back. Right arm extends forward, keeping the toes and fingers on the ground to start. And then as you find balance, inhale, lift. Exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale again, reach. Exhale again, knee to elbow. Good. One more time. Inhale, reach. And then exhale again, knee to elbow. Good. Inhale, reach everything back out. Before you slowly release hand and knee back down towards the earth. Good. We're going to gently lower down to elbows, giving our wrists a bit of a break. And then we can tuck our toes and walk our feet all the way back behind us. Good. We're going to find our plank. We're here for 5 breaths. Good. 1. Push back into those heels. Head, shoulders, hips, and heels in one line. If this is too much, you can always modify onto knees. Good. But wherever you are, 3 more. Beautiful. 2 more. So good. Last one. Take a nice big inhale here. And then exhale, slowly lower the hips back down towards the ground. Good. Press the palms down. Lift through your chest for Sphinx pose. Really pressing down into the tops of the feet. Engaging your quads so that your knees are gently floating up off the mat. Squeezing your glutes. Good. One more breath. Good. We're going to gently let our elbows pop out to the sides so that we can lower the torso back down towards the earth. We'll take one hand on top of the other, rest our chin underneath that, and then on your next inhale, we'll zip the toes together and we'll lift everything up off the mat. So on your next inhale, lift. As we exhale, take the arms all the way back behind you for airplane wings. Good. See if you can inhale and bring the arms all the way back towards the front without dropping the torso. And then again, exhale, hands under chin as you lower everything back down towards the ground. Good. That's 1. We're going to do 4 more just like that. Inhale again, squeeze and lift. Exhale, arms behind you. Inhale again, arms forward. And then exhale, lower. Good. That was number 2. Inhale for number 3. Squeeze and lift. Exhale, arms behind you. Good. Inhale again, squeeze and lift. And then exhale, lower. Good. 2 more like that. Inhale, lift. Exhale, airplane wings. Inhale, arms forward. And then exhale, lower. Wow. Ooh, you got it. Last one. Inhale, lift. Exhale, arms back. Inhale, arms forward. And then exhale, lower. Good. Take your time to bring your hands to your sides. Gently roll yourself up onto knees. Ooh, and take that child's pose. As you open up your knees wide, take your toes together and rest your forehead down. Ooh. Should feel pretty good on the lower back after putting in all that work. Now I just have to take 2 more breaths. Good. Last one. Gently come up onto the fingertips as you lift your forehead up. And then you're going to walk your hands over towards the right side of the mat. Really lengthen through that left arm. Right arm can do whatever it wants, whether it comes out to the side or back behind you, as long as you're lengthening through that left side as you bring your forehead down towards the right. You're going to pull your left hip back behind you to create some space. Finding that nice lengthening sensation happening through that left side body. As you allow yourself to settle and breathe for 3 more. Good. Last one here. Good. If you did take your right hand back behind you, gently bring both hands back to the front. Lift yourself onto your fingertips, lift your forehead, and then again, walk your hands over towards the left. So same thing, lengthen that right arm forward, and then rest your forehead down. Really pulling back with that right hip to create some space. And that left hand can do what it likes, whether it's just sitting on the left side, out to the side, forward, as long as it's nice and relaxed. Focusing on creating space on the right side body this time. Taking 3 more breaths. As you finish that 3rd breath, take your time to support yourself with both hands, slowly lifting the forehead up, walking your hands back up to center, and then gently propping yourself back up to your hands and knees. Good. From your hands and knees, you're going to take your right foot and you're going to slide it out towards the right side until you can bring it all the way towards the front. And you're going to shimmy the foot forward far enough to where you're going to be in a nice, comfortable lunge position. Once you find that position, you're going to tuck the back toe, lift the back knee up off the mat so that you can pivot that whole back foot on the floor. And then we're going to come up into a nice warrior 1 position. So warrior 1 is your right hip is pulling back just a smidge. Your left hip is pointing forward just a smidge. And you're going to start to bend back into that knee. Take a nice big inhale as you reach that arm all the way up. Reach both arms all the way up towards the sky, finding length. And then as you exhale, straighten out that front leg and bring your hands towards your shin. Inhale again as you bend into that knee. Reach the arms up. Warrior 1. And then exhale again. Straighten that leg. Hinge forward. Grab for your shin or whatever, your thigh, whatever you can hold. Inhale again. Bend the knee. Reach the arms back up high. And then last time, exhale, pyramid. Straighten out the leg. Hinge forward. Forward fold. Good. Start to bend into that knee. Good. Lower that back knee down. Good. Send your right foot back behind you, whether it's out to the side if you need more space or underneath if you can take it that way. And then we're going to come on to the other side. Left foot is going to swing back around to the front. And then same thing until you're in that lunge position, but make sure that you're going to tuck the back foot, lift the back knee, and pivot the foot down so that it's at a 45-degree angle so that it becomes easier to come on up. Once you arrive, again, take that left hip back, right hip forward. It's not going to be exactly in line because of the foot position in the back, and know that that's okay. But make sure you keep that nice big bend in that front knee as you reach both arms up high. Take a nice big breath in, warrior 1. Virabhadrasana. And then exhale again as you start to straighten out the leg for pyramid pose. So send that left hip back, right hip forward even more as you find that hinge. Good. Inhale again, bend back into the knee. Support yourself as much as you need to reach your arms back up high. And then exhale again. Take your arms forward. Good. Forward fold. One more time. Inhale, bend the knee. Reach the arms high. And then again, exhale, bring your hands down. And then straighten out the leg. Hinge forward. Good. Inhale, rise back up, warrior 1. And then exhale, both hands back down towards the floor. You can bring them onto the inside if you need space. Drop that back knee. Send that left foot all the way back behind you. Good. From there, you're going to rotate yourself onto your seat. So transition from your knees to your bum. Extend the legs out in front of you. Take a nice big inhale here. And then exhale, forward fold. Good. Knowing that if you are really tight in the hamstrings, it's going to tug on your lower back a little bit more. So if that's the case, you can bend the knees a little bit more to create some more space. And then maybe you can hinge forward to help soften through your lower back. Good. One more. Good. Gently lift yourself all the way back up. Good. You're going to slide your feet to the edge of your mat and then slowly lower all the way down onto your back. Beautiful. Once we arrive, we're going to bring our knees into our chest and then make some big circles with the knees going around in the same direction. It's going to roll out your lower back. Put in so much work today. Great job. And then roll it in the opposite direction. Good. And we'll keep the right knee hugged into the chest. We're going to leave the left leg straight up towards the sky. See how the lower back stays flat against the ground? This is where we want to keep it. Take a nice big inhale here. And then exhale, can we lower this leg as low as we can go without letting the lower back come off the ground? And then inhale again, bring it back up. And then exhale again, lever it down. As far as it'll go, keep the low back down, press, 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 in through your core. And then inhale, lift. Yeah, that's number 2. Exhale. Slowly lower. Good. Inhale again, lift. And then exhale again, lower. Make the lift and lower go really, really slow so you feel that control, you feel the core working. Inhale again, lift. Good. Last one. Exhale, lower. Good. Inhale, lift the leg all the way back up. And then exhale, switch. Bend the left knee into your chest. Hold on to that knee. Reach the right leg up towards the sky. Good. Take a nice big inhale here. Keep that low back nice and flat. And then as you exhale, press, 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 press. As you slowly lower the leg. And the lower it goes, the harder it gets. Inhale again, straight the leg up towards the sky. Good. Exhale again as you lower. Think slow, controlled. Good. Inhale again, squeeze and lift. Again, exhale again as you lower. Good. You got last 2. You can do it. Inhale, squeeze and lift. And then exhale, lower. Good. Last one. Inhale, lift. And then exhale, lower. Good. Inhale, lift the leg back up towards the sky. And then exhale, bring the knees into your chest. Give it a nice big hug. And then gently lower your feet back down towards the mat. Good. We're going to be our feet hip distance apart. Tuck our shoulders underneath. And then take a nice big inhale. Press down into your feet firmly as we squeeze and lift the hips up towards the sky. Take our hands, lace the palms, push the palms down towards your heels if that feels okay for you. If that's not accessible, no need. You can bring your hands flat down towards the ground and just use that to press into your hips as you squeeze them up towards the sky. Can you maintain that hold for 4 more? Good. Last 3. Good. 2 more. Beautiful. Last one. Take another big inhale as you lift the hips high. And then exhale as you lower them all the way back down towards the mat. Good. Give yourself one final hug of your knees into your chest. And then you slowly release the feet down to the mat, maybe with the knees out to the sides to create that lower arch, that little arch that happens in our lower back when we're in Supta Baddha Konasana. But you can rest your hands on your belly, hands out to the sides, whatever feels good for you today. But as we start moving towards stillness, checking in physically, mentally, emotionally, and know that if back pain has been something that you've been dealing with, you are not alone. It is so, so, so common. So know that if you give it the right movements and the right tools, that it can reset and feel better with time. You just have to stay consistent with whatever you choose to do to help it along. So whether that be mobility, a little bit of strength building, a little bit of yoga, or just a little bit of stretching, know that you already put in the work today. So thank yourself for showing up. As you start to release the body, releasing any other tension that you might have, and take a moment for a little bit of quiet. Just allow ourselves to be. So we take one last moment in stillness. A gentle reminder that you are already stronger than you believe yourself to be. And as you let those words soak in, knowing that that is you, take your time to fill yourself up with breath. As you invite small movements back into the body, as you exhale the breath out. Take your time to slowly close the knees if you were in your open butterfly pose. And extend the legs and reach the arms up overhead if one last full body stretch does call to you today. Take your time to slowly roll over to your favorite side, finding that comfortable fetal position. Allowing yourself a moment to reset. Before you slowly but surely make your way to your comfortable seat. Once we arrive, placing one hand over heart and one hand over belly, finding gratitude for our bodies, this practice in this space to move together and feel good in our bodies again. Thank you so much for being here, for finding your strength with me, and for allowing me to guide your practice. From my heart to yours. Thank you so much for being here, for getting strong with me, and I hope to see you at the next one.